Welcome. The Fortress of Knowledge proudly presents Insulin, the discovery that saved millions. Before 1921, type 1 diabetes was a slow and certain death. Children, once bright and full of life, would begin to waste away, no matter how carefully their families rationed food. Doctors tried starvation diets and experimental tonics, but nothing worked. Without insulin, the body's own fuel, glucose, was trapped in the blood, unable to reach the cells that needed it most. The very energy of life was locked away, just out of reach. In the summer of 1921, in a small laboratory at the University of Toronto, a young Canadian surgeon named Frederick Banting couldn't sleep. He'd read an obscure article suggesting that the pancreas produced a mysterious internal secretion, one that might control sugar in the blood. Banting jotted an idea in his notebook. Tie off the pancreatic ducts of a dog to isolate the internal secretion of the islets of Langerhans. It was bold, risky, maybe even desperate. But in a world where diabetes meant death, desperate ideas were worth chasing. Banting was joined by Charles Best, a 22-year-old medical student. Together, in the heat of a Toronto summer, they operated on dogs, removing or tying off parts of the pancreas, trying to isolate the substance they believed could save lives. Each success and failure was recorded in smudged ink and sleepless nights. Finally, one July morning in 1921, they injected their extract, taken from the islet cells, into a diabetic dog. Within hours, the animal's blood sugar dropped. It stood, tail wagging weakly, alive and alert. They had found it, the missing hormone, insulin. But discovery alone wasn't enough. The extract was crude and impure, sometimes causing severe reactions. To bring it to patients, they needed help. And that came from Professor John J.R. Macleod, who provided resources, and biochemist James Collip, who refined the extract for human use. Then came the test that would change medical history. On January 11th, 1922, a 14-year-old boy named Leonard Thompson lay dying in Toronto General Hospital. He weighed barely 65 pounds, fading into a diabetic coma. Doctors injected him with the first dose of the new pancreatic extract. The results were mixed. The impure extract caused an allergic reaction. Collip worked day and night, refining it further. 12 days later, Leonard received a second injection, this time pure. His blood sugar dropped. His strength began to return. For the first time in history, a human life had been pulled back from the edge of diabetic death. News spread quickly. Within months, patients around the world were being treated with insulin derived from animal pancreases. Parents watched their children regain weight, color, and energy. Hospitals that once held wards of dying diabetics now witnessed recoveries that seemed nothing short of miraculous. It was the dawn of a new era in medicine. In 1923, Banting and Macleod received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, though Banting shared his half with Best, and Macleod shared his with Collip, a gesture of unity in one of the greatest collaborations in medical science. Early insulin was extracted from pigs and cows, effective but imperfect. It required multiple daily injections and often caused allergic reactions. Over time, chemists and biologists refined the process. In the 1930s, long-acting insulins were developed. By the 1970s, with the rise of biotechnology, scientists learned to splice the human insulin gene into bacteria, creating the world's first recombinant human insulin. For the first time, insulin could be made safely, in unlimited supply, and tailored for patients' needs. The once fatal disease became a chronic condition, manageable, though never easy. 100 years after Leonard Thompson's injection, millions around the world depend on insulin to survive. Pumps, sensors, and artificial pancreas systems have made management more precise. But the core miracle, that a molecule can bridge the gap between life and death, remains unchanged. Yet insulin is not a cure. The immune system still destroys the beta cells that produce it. Scientists continue searching through stem cell therapy, immune modulation, and smart insulin that can adjust itself in real time. When Frederick Banting and Charles Best began their experiments, they were armed with little more than curiosity, compassion, and conviction. They didn't know they were about to change the course of medical history, Their discovery didn't just extend lives, it redefined what it means to save a life. Insulin remains one of the most powerful symbols of hope in all of medicine. A reminder that sometimes the smallest molecules can have the greatest impact.